Joining us now to get into the nitty-gritty here a little bit with this team, Greg Flammang from Irish Sports Daily. It's no secret this Notre Dame men's basketball team is struggling this season, sitting just at 2-10 in the ACC. We all know the Irish are lacking offensively, averaging right around 60, 61 points per game. But the question is why, and what can they do about it? Can it be fixed this late in the season?
Yeah, so just to underscore the point, 357th out of 362 teams in points scored per game at 61.5. The question of whether or not it can get fixed, unfortunately, there is no great fix for something like this, right? They haven't been a great shooting team. They're 30% from three this year. They take a lot of threes. They're 88th in the nation in three-point attempts, which is, 88th it doesn't seem that high, but when there's 360 teams, it's up in the upper half of college basketball. So they're taking a lot of threes. They're not making a lot of threes. And the problem is when you don't have a lot of good shot creators, you don't have a lot of good one-on-one type players, then that means that the defense can focus in on your weaknesses and make you take shots that you don't like taking. And basketball can be complicated. It can also be very simple, right? So when they're forcing you to take shots that you don't like, you're more likely than not going to miss those shots, and those missed shots are going to lead to transition opportunities for the opposing team. That's going to lead to easier baskets for them, puts Notre Dame behind the eight ball. They have a pretty good defense, right? So they're 39th out of 362 in points allowed per game. So they're in a lot of close games, but those close games in the last 5 minutes, we've seen Notre Dame drop games that are winnable for them because they can't get the types of shots that they feel comfortable taking. Not a lot of great shot makers. Unfortunately, that doesn't really fix itself, right? Like you need to get other players in who can create opportunities for themselves, who are able to hit open shots. That's not coming this year, but so that's kind of been the situation for Notre Dame basketball in 2024.
They do have an opportunity to possibly snap this 7-game losing streak with Virginia Tech coming in today. This feels like a potentially winnable game for the Irish. What do you like about this matchup, and what do the Irish need to do to get a win against the Hokies?
Well, it's a good opportunity for them. The Hokies aren't a great shooting team, right? So combined with the fact that Notre Dame is a good defensive team, like I said, 39th out of 362 teams, you feel like the game's going to be close, right? And so when you're in a close game, that's always winnable. Like we've seen Braden Shrewsbury, he's their shooter on the team. I know there's a lot of people wonder what his role is on the team here. Well, he's the one who can get hot and create a good situation for Notre Dame offensively, right? Like if he can hit 5 or 6 threes in a game, that's a huge bonus for them. That opens things up for guys like Tate Davis. It opens things up for Marcus Burton and Matt Zona, and getting the ball to spots that they like. Anytime you have a shooter that's going off, that creates space on the floor, creates opportunities for your team. So Virginia Tech, pretty good team, not a great team. And Notre Dame can always play a close game against teams like that. Hopefully they come out on top in this matchup.
Absolutely. Now, kind of on the flip side of that, looking at the Notre Dame women's basketball team, you recently had guard Sonia Citron on your podcast that you host with former Irish basketball player Dara Mabry. How have you seen Sonia progress through her injury, and with her return, how has she impacted this Irish team?
So she's very, very key player for them, right? It's like she can handle the ball. She can play the 2. She can play the 3. She could even play the 4 if they needed that, right? She's a very tall player. She's a very versatile player. 40% three-point shooter, right? So that's fantastic. She's a very good free throw shooter as well. Very good rebounder. She runs the floor great. Has very high basketball IQ, and she's someone who can really help Hannah Hidalgo. When Hannah is in a distributor mode, she can distribute to someone like Sonia. They can do pick and roll together, where Sonia is the roller. She can roll to the basket. She can pop out to the three-point line. She can hit. She can play inside. She can drive to the basket. She can put the ball on the ground. She can also play make for other players, right? And just contrasting that with what the men's team have. Men's team don't have someone like Sonia Citron who can do so many things.
That three-headed monster they've got with Sonia and Westbeld, and of course with Hannah, just they are looking very good, and hopefully at the right time as they start heading into the tournament time. Well, Greg, thank you so much. We love having you on the show, and we will look forward to hearing more from you maybe this season, and of course as we get back to football season next year. Thanks so much for coming on the show with us.